You are listening to the Postcast, presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and the Glebe Central Pub. The Glebe Central Pub is your neighborhood pub in the heart of the Glebe. Great food, tasty drinks, and great people. What makes a better pub than that? Visit them at 779 Bank Street and tell them Locked On Senators sent you. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, and we've got a win to kick off the new year. 3-1 the score against the Buffalo Sabres, a wire-to-wire victory. Tim Stützle opening the scoring just 47 seconds in. And yeah, it was tied in the second for a little bit, but we've got a first NHL goal to talk about. Pilsy, I know Jake Lucchini's your guy. What was going through your mind first, seeing him on the power play unit and then getting that backdoor feed?
Well, Ross, it's kind of funny because I was watching that second power play unit and I see Lucchini out there and immediately I'm glued onto him like, oh, wow, that's interesting. Jake Lucchini getting some power play time here. And I'm keeping an eye on him, watching. And as I'm doing that, he goes backdoor, perfect positioning. Everyone's so focused on all the other four power play guys. Jake Lucchini just sneaks in there and he finds a way to get it backdoor and beats Anderson. I was so happy when he got that goal. I mean, what a journey for him to get to this point, and he seems like a great dude. So game-winning goal on the power play for your first NHL goal at home nonetheless. Have a night, Jake Lucchini.
And we already have the poll up on YouTube. Make sure you go vote. Who gets the goggles tonight from Alex DeBrincat? DeBrincat, of course, played hero, twice against the Washington Capitals. But this is going to be a tough decision because you'd think it'd be a runaway. You just mentioned it. First
It's
NHL
Lucchini.
goal. I mean, there's a couple other guys. We'll get to our Central standouts, but this was a good performance for lots of guys. Even how about Claude Giroux having his 10th multi-point game of the season? On pace for that 77 that I guaranteed in the offseason.
Looking good, Ross.
We jumped right past it, though, and as we should, because Jake Lucchini, I mean, that is the story tonight. There's a couple other storylines, but what's your initial reaction following this one?
Finally, a former Sens goalie doesn't Sens the Sens. And now, mind you, Craig Anderson had a pretty good game. I don't blame him too much on that Tim Stützle goal. It's kind of a bang play off the defender's skates, and when Tim Stützle has a open side of the net like that, he's going to score. So that's not on Andy. And then same with the power play. It's a backdoor where no one's covering Jake Lucchini. So the Senators, it's a nice win here, and we'll see if that affects your overall graphic that much, Ross. Although Anderson only letting in 2 goals, I don't think it's going to change the goals against and save percentage that much.
No, I think maybe I will. We'll see. I was going to retire the graphic. I was going to retire it.
Oh, wow. After the back-to-back former Sens goalies, it's done, eh?
Exactly. I mean, maybe if Matt Murray gets a call against Ottawa.
Yeah, that's one where it's got to come back around. That's huge.
Yes.
I mean, the guy's on the payroll still.
Yes, but to beat Craig Anderson is certainly notable, and he looks awesome. He's still so much fun to watch play.
So
like
good.
the way something we noticed, I think they called it out on the broadcast, where he like punches the puck in certain directions off his blocker where he wants it. That's a guy who's got his 10,000 hours, eh? But until you like master something, dude, the play on, was it Batherson? Yeah, off the bump play from DeBrincat at the blue line. He was 6 feet out of his blue paint because he knew there was no backside pressure. That was hilarious. He almost was too close. He could have just poke checked Batherson, who was almost at the faceoff circle. Absolutely hilarious there for sure. And we got, stick taps. We've got Adam Rogers in his first postcast. Welcome to the show, pal. Woo! Love to see it. Welcome to the postcast, Adam Rogers. Got a great one here for you as the Senators are victorious. You mentioned that Tim Stützle goal. Let's go through that goal scoring summary. It's an assist to Claude Giroux, but really it's an assist to the leg of the Buffalo defender.
Yeah, and Timmy makes that whole play happen. I mean, it's a heads-up job by Claude Giroux trying to get it out front there, but Timmy gets it off his own rebound, and then he just scores on Andy. Like, what are you going to do there? And you love to see Tim Stützle scoring a goal in 2023, 40 seconds into the first game. Like, let's get things going quickly here, and that's what Timmy does.
Yeah, unreal. Tim Stützle scoring his 13th goal of the season. But don't write that number down because it changes a little bit later. But to start the second period, the Ottawa said, well, I should give him stick taps, so killing off that 5-on-3 at the end of the first was a solid momentum saving play. The discipline seemed to be an issue into the second period as well, Pills.
Yeah, I mean, they got caught the one hooking penalty, I think it was, from Holden, and then after Hamonic also gets a penalty moments after, and then not only do you have a 5-on-3, but you have two of your defensive veteran defensemen in the box, so that definitely tightens things up. But I thought overall the penalty kill was really good, even in that long 5-on-3. So sure, maybe you don't love to see that back-to-back penalties, but if you can bail yourselves out, it's not a big deal.
I more so didn't really like the one at the start of the second, the Shabbat, where he just knew he went right to the box. Like, yeah, I got him on
Yeah.
Tage Thompson. That's a big man. We'll touch on his rocket near the end of the game that could have made this a tie. It was that close to being just that. Artem Zub, by the way, all the way back after playing under 17 minutes in his return against Detroit. He was back up at his typical number, playing 23-20, only 15 seconds less than Shabbat for the team lead tonight. But after the Senators kill off that Shabbat penalty, it's back and forth in the second period. Brutal change. Like, that's all you can really say about this one, eh? The Zemgus Girgensons breakaway goal.
Yeah, and I mean, Samuelson, he hits him with a great pass there. I believe it was Samuelson, and that's a breakaway for Gergensen, and he knows going in what he's going to do. Like, that's a planned move. The fake backhand move, and then all the way wide forehand. And the thing I don't love about this, and I'm not going to get too crazy about it, but he kind of bumps Forsberg on that play. Like, I don't think it's goalie interference worthy, but it makes it really difficult for Forsberg to get from one side of the net to the other. But nonetheless, a nice goal for Gergensen. He's that former All-Star, right? The crazy fan voting scenario from a while back.
Yeah, you know what? I think he was okay that year though.
I mean, yeah, he was decent, but it was definitely a case of fan voting that got him in.
Oh yeah, now that I'm pulling up his numbers for sure. I mean, that was his third goal of the season in his game 33.
Yeah, and speaking of All-Stars, Ross, I believe the voting happens this week. I'm not sure what the process is, but I think this is the week where it gets done, just
Yeah,
as an aside.
Mathieu writing in the chat, who's getting the automatic player to the All-Star game. That sounds like a real Locked On Senators episode topic.
Yes,
we'll touch
it
on that
does.
tomorrow. But after this game was tied, well, it wasn't. We already talked about the Lucchini goal on the power play, assisted Eric Brassard, who was really just trying to get one on net, but it squirted through his legs. Backdoor Lucchini makes absolutely no mistake, and the Senators took the lead and never relinquished it. In the third period, I thought it was a nice shutdown first half of the third period. Not a whole lot going. Gambrell probably had the best opportunity, that in tight chance. Great save by Craig Anderson, and then Tage Thompson on a snapshot goes 90 miles an hour, basically, right off the post. Like, I'm seeing some people in the chat saying he was invisible. I didn't think so tonight. I noticed him every time he was out on the ice. Played 18-34 as a -2, 71% in the circle. But that post was the difference in this game. They tie that. Who knows what could have happened?
Yeah, honestly, and that was like the amount of torque he's able to get on that shot so quickly. Like, that is scary. And yeah, Ross, I'm with you. I noticed him a bunch out there. I mean, when you're 6'7", it's pretty hard to miss you. And he's fifth in the league in points with 51 points. Like, I think not a lot of people are fully realizing how massive of a season he's having. I mean, he had 5 goals a couple weeks back. Like, this guy is an absolute stud.
I'm just laughing right now because apparently Tim Stützle after the game, Tim Stützle, of course, 20 years old for the next 2 weeks, just called Jake Lucchini such a good kid. Lucchini,
7 years older than him.
Lucchini's 27. I love that.
Timmy.
I love that so much. Okay, and then after that, they pulled. Did you think they waited a long time to pull the goalie, or is that just me?
I think they could have pulled it earlier, but not too long.
With one goal, I guess.
That's the thing. It was one goal, yeah.
132 left, though. Like, they had offensive zone possession. I usually go like 2-10 is kind of where I start looking and saying, okay, are we emptying the net here? And then how close was, okay, first, I guess, Timmy. Nice defensive play by that whole line. I like DJ Smith, and people are hard on DJ Smith. We've been hard on DJ Smith, but pulling the third line off the ice and saying, no. Giroux's taking this face off and getting that line out there. That was a smart play. Timmy gets the breakaway goal, ices this one, his 14th goal of the season, assist to Thomas Chabot. But Billsy, we were so close to seeing Drake Batherson
I
extend his
know.
point streak from 13 right after that.
I was hoping for that, Ross, especially him and DeBrincat had a bit of a rush there where it could have happened, but unfortunately, we don't get our wish there. But we do get our wish of a 3-1 regulation 2-point win over a division rival. And people are hyped up in the chat saying only 7 points out of a wild card spot now. I mean, that's still quite a bit, but it seems much more attainable than it has the last couple weeks.
I mean, they've just jumped the Florida Panthers in the wild
Massive.
card standings.
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong with that when you're looking at what this team has the potential to do. Now, Buffalo still does have 2 games in hand on the Ottawa Senators, which really just makes this one even more important. Detroit still with 2 games in hand as well. So we don't need to talk about that collapse, that absolute flush-worthy performance from last night. The last 2 periods were just absolutely horrific. But I'm pulling it up right now for those who haven't seen the standings. Boom. Looks nice. And like, we don't want Florida to fall too far because Montreal has their first round pick. We know how much fun it is to have 2 top 5 picks. Don't need the Habs having that this year. But the Panthers just look a complete mess. A complete mess so far this season. However, as I'm looking here, it looks like the Panthers have played much more on the road. 19 road games. No, 18 at home. Just that 12 is just such an egregious number that jumps off the page. But yeah, Senators jumped there. They're 500 back to the the Bettman 500, we'll call it. And this is where they seem to have trouble. I think this is the 3rd, if not 4th time where the Sens have pushed their way into 500 territory. Thanks, Gary. But where do they take the next step? Against Columbus. You have to beat Columbus. Are we going with a must win?
You know, I think it is a game you must win, but I hate to clown on the Columbus Blue Jackets this bad, but like, I don't even think you need to put that much importance on it. Like, this is like, if you lose this, it's much worse than the need to win it. You know what I'm saying? Is that a confusing way? Yeah. Like, you can't have the Columbus Blue Jackets slow your momentum. Like, you need to just blow past them and move on to the next game, honestly.
What's their away record? I'm looking at it right now. I need you to say it.
Oh, the Blue Jackets are 2-11-1. Sheesh.
That's a can't lose game on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I like that. It's more of a can't lose rather than a must win. Definitely.
I love it. All right, let's say hi to our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. You know, the Postcast is brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. It's in the heart of the Glebe at 779 Bank Street. Let's get their beautiful logo up here. And obviously, we follow Glebe Central Pub on social media. We want you to follow them as well. Check out their Instagram, Glebe Central Pub, Glebe_Central_Pub. You know what I learned there last night? I was looking at their story. Live music every Saturday night at the Glebe Central Pub. I mean, how can you not love live music, drink specials? It's unreal. So we're making the trip to Glebe Central Pub, the pilgrimage to the Glebe Central Pub, coming soon with Locked On Senators. So go check them out, Heart of the Glebe, and go to their website, glebecentralpub.com, and you can find out when the bus is going to the CTC. For only $15 round trip, you can go to and from the Glebe Central Pub to the Canadian Tire Center. Do not worry about parking. Just worry about having a phenomenal time. You can find them in the heart of the Glebe, 779 Bank Street, and make sure you tell them that Locked On Senators sent you. Ali Dez.
Yes.
Welcome to the Super Chat. Appreciate you, brother. Mentioning the Senators 7 points out of a wild card spot. We absolutely love to hear that. We love to see it. The game's in hand. Forget them. Just win them.
Yeah.
Just keep winning. Keep winning. And we'll go from there. Tonight was a step in the right direction, though, beating the Buffalo Sabres, the red-hot Buffalo Sabres. So Ottawa goes into Washington and takes care of a Capitals team that was 9-1 in their last 10. Well, Buffalo was on a bit of a streak of their own.
Yeah, 8-1-1 Ross in their last 10 on a 6-game winning streak. And I was looking at some of those games because I was like, Well, is this like an inflated win streak? Like, how many times did they play Columbus Blue Jackets or the Toronto Maple Leafs here, right? Like, are these easy wins? And they
Or the
they were
Habs.
up against, the
Can we
Habs
just
also.
quick aside? How about Ovechkin getting a hat trick
Yeah.
against the Habs, winning 9-2, and then taking a picture with all their moms? Sorry, I had to come on.
Only Ovi. I mean, what a legend. But they were wins up against really good teams, the Sabres, and big wins as well. And Noodles mentioned it, like, a lot of NHL teams have massive injury problems this year, the Ottawa Senators included. The Buffalo Sabres have been pretty fortunate with most of their roster, a young team, granted, but most of their roster being healthy for all season. So, I mean, I'm not saying that that's the only reason they're where they are, but that certainly helps.
It certainly does. But the Ottawa Senators, their schedule ahead of them, I like it for what could come. Not only the game against Columbus, but you've got some important games coming up that are winnable. Like Seattle started the year great. I still think that's a winnable game at home next Saturday. Nashville at home. They've been struggling all year.
Yeah.
And then you're in Arizona at Mullet Arena.
Although I think the Coyotes have a good record at Mullet Arena, Ross. If you got the standings up still, maybe check that.
Well, I just moved off of it. But yeah, they've been playing tough games at Mullet Arena, but you could still win that to start a 3-game road trip.
You would hope.
Colorado's getting some bodies back. McKinnon's back, but I mean, we're not going to look further than a week ahead. First, it's this homestand. It's a 4-game homestand to start the new year against 4 very winnable opponents, right? Like
Let's go.
that's where you have to start, and then we can claw our way back. I'm trying to find out where Seattle's coming from when they come to Ottawa. Like, where is it on their road trip, right? Because they're not coming to Ottawa just to play them.
True.
They're going at Edmonton, at Toronto, at Ottawa, at Montreal, at Buffalo, at Boston, at Chicago. That is the longest. That's longer than any road trip Ottawa's got all year. So I like that. I like that for Ottawa being right in the middle. Maybe an off night you can catch the Kraken. As if we're saying that about an expansion team that's 2 years old. Not even. Just no Joey Decord. I've had enough.
Please. No, don't do it to us.
I've had enough former Sens goalies for a little while. Sens Rule 1000 writing in. Would you like to see Lucchini stick around longer? I was going to mention you off the top, Pills. He Footy's already told us, you guys have to have this guy on the show when he gets back to Belleville. We'll hook it up. I don't know when he's coming back to Belleville, but it's not going to be soon.
Honestly, especially with these injuries, I'm not really sure the timetables these days. It's hard to keep track, but I believe the next closest player to coming back is Brandstrom. So that would leave Mott, Chartier, and Matthew Josephs, and Josh Norris, obviously, of the forwards still out. And I'm keeping Lucchini around. I've liked what we've seen from him. And on the second power play unit, that was a sneaky little goal. So I see no reason. I would rather have Lucchini in the lineup than a Gambrell. Maybe even take Watson's spot a couple times here. But I love seeing Jake Lucchini have success up in the NHL. So let's have it go on for a while here. It's a good story.
I mean, and that assist on Lucchini's goal was Derek Brassard's first point in 9 games. I don't think he's a guy who needs to be in the lineup night in and night out either. Although, where are we at in terms of his tracker here as he inches closer to the 1,000 game marker?
He needed 49.
He's at 790. He needs 21 more games.
Oh, he'll hit that.
100%.
Yeah.
Austin Watson took a real hard block shot in
right
this
to the
game.
wrist.
Came back in the third period. I'm still convinced Brady's playing with something right now, and yet he still was able to have 5 shots on goal.
And he hit the post twice in one shift. Oh my God, this kid.
Yep, in the third period, or in the first period, rather. Third period, Tage Thompson hit that the other side of the post there. Or someone in the second as well hit the same spot on the post that Brady hit. It was a Buffalo player, obviously switching sides.
I got a bunch of posts written down here. I'll try to find it out. Always keep tabs of those.
Well, as you do, I'll tee up that we've got some Sen Central standouts presented by the Glebe Central Pub to go around here. So if you've got the post, then ring it on me. But if not, let's get into our Sen Central standouts.
No, I can't find it here for some reason. Sorry, guys. Whoops.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to take the first standout then.
Do it.
Anton Forsberg needs to play more games. This guy needs to play more games. That was his first win since the Claude Giroux slap shot on a breakaway game. That feels like forever ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. But the thing is, Ross, Cam Talbot was so hot. every time they announced Talbot as the starter, or I shouldn't say announce because DJ would always say, you'll find out in the warm-up. Every
Yeah.
time he was the starter, I thought it was the right move. So now that it's a back-to-back and Anton Forsberg gets in this game, he has a great game in my mind. I think you're going to see a little bit more of a split coming up here.
Okay. I mean, there's been some stinkers along the way from Cam Talbot too, right?
But that's the Cam Talbot experience, right? As our good buddy from Locked On Wild told us, you're going to love him for the most part, but then sometimes it's just not there, and we've seen that. So you got to take it the good with the bad with Cam Talbot, and the good thing is the Ottawa Senators have a goalie tandem that doesn't rely on Talbot to play 65-plus games a year. Forsberg can pick up some of that slack if it seems like Talbot has a bit of a stretch where you get a couple of those bad games in a row.
So right now, Cam Talbot's played 22 games, but let's go by starts because when you get pulled, that's never what you schedule for. So 20 starts for Talbot, and Anton Forsberg, I got to find starts. I had games, is at 15 starts, 16 now after this game. But what I don't like, I like that split in terms of games, but I don't like the way it's been done, right? Because Talbot was hurt at the start of the year. Forsberg started 11 games in a row, and then Talbot started 10 games in a row. Why not snap it back and forth
But did any of these games where Talbot's had a stretch, were you feeling like, it should be Forsberg tonight?
After Winnipeg, yeah, I certainly felt that way when he let in 5 on 24.
Yeah, fair. But sometimes I like to give the goalie a bounce back. That sucks if you have one bad game and it's like, I lost the net now. Like, when am I going to get another chance? So I think you could argue both ways, but I was okay with it through the stretch, and I'm also down to get more Forsberg starts after that good game for sure.
Yeah, that's
maybe,
fair.
Maybe his family just needs to be in the crowd more often here. It seemed like that it really boosted him.
Yeah. To be fair, Talbot did bounce back after that Winnipeg game with the 37 save performance in the OT loss against Washington. But to get back to tonight's game, Anton Forsberg, 33 saves, and man, he looked so calm. I forgot his poise in net. Talbot's a little more old school. It's weird. And maybe this is gonna sound strange, but Talbot is I think he gives the guys confidence with his aggressiveness, but Forsberg is more poised. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Talbot's a little more all over the place, but still, when he's kicking them out, it still exudes a different type of confidence. Whereas Forsberg, it's just everything is so mechanical. Everything is so perfect. All his T pushes, all of his shuffles, everything is right on track. And I love the way that he just ate a few pucks where it was like a bouncing puck in the crease. It wouldn't even be a shot. He'd pounce out there and be like, no, I'm good. We're not going to deal with that.
Slow
the one
things
that
down.
off of Zub's back of his leg near the end of the game with 2 minutes left. And he was able to just be like, no, let's get the whistle. And then that's when DJ put out the top line, and the rest is history. They iced the puck first, but the rest is history after that. Will Scott, appreciate the super chat, buddy. JBD, I did have a note on that, and then we're going to get to your standout. This is JBD's first time wearing the reverse retro.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
I had to do a double take when I saw the long name bar and a big 24. I thought Volchi was back, man.
They play very different styles of games, but hey, I wouldn't mind Volchi in his prime back on this roster.
100%. All right, so I've got Cam Talbot. We're talking about him, but we've got Anton Forsberg is my first of two. We're snapping it around twice here, Pilsy, as my standout.
Well, as Eric or Eric's wife, not sure if it's Eric or Eric's wife, the Eric household has been very generous lately, so we appreciate that. But as they mentioned, I gotta go with Jake Lucchini here. First NHL goal, game winner, power play at home. That's just epic. So my Sense Central standout is gonna be the kid, Jake Lucchini.
The kid, Jake. And I'll go with the guy who called him the kid, Tim Stützle, with 2 goals. I thought he was back. He was my standout last game as well, but that was more of a pity standout just because he played the most and everybody sucked. But I thought he was great tonight, and that confidence that he got with the goal right off the bat, I thought he was humming around the ice all night tonight. And I just love when he's at the top of his game, when he's skating, when he's controlling the puck in the offensive zone. God, he's fun to watch. And I'll snap it back to you. I'm assuming you're going to take his line mate unless you take one for a bit of a walk somewhere else.
No, I'm definitely going with his line mate and the guy that got 2 points and his 10th multi-point game of this season with your Ottawa Senators. But speaking of Timmy's speed, before I go on about Claude Giroux, that empty net goal that he got, like that's where he's starting the hockey IQ and his hands and his feet. It's all coming together because that's him realizing that, okay, that shot's getting blocked. There's going to be a loose puck right there at the blue line. If I hit this with speed, I can go all the way for a breakaway and no one's catching me. And he hits it in stride, scoops up that loose puck, and sure enough, it's a breakaway on an empty netter. So Tim Stützle, great game. And he doesn't have a lot of his success without Claude Giroux. Claude Giroux continues to amaze me. Like last night, that goal he scored, what an unreal bag of tricks he has. And he goes 50% in the dot, 2 assists tonight. I thought he played a nice, good game. And every single game, I'm so thankful that Claude Giroux chose to come here as a free agent because he was that veteran that this team needed and needs. So Claude Giroux, my second Sen Central standout, presented by the Glebe Central Pub.
There are 46 games left in the year, and Claude Giroux is 43 points away from 1,000.
He's getting it. He's getting it.
NHL career. However, the Ottawa Senators, they only had one opportunity, and they converted on the power play, thankfully, because they'd gone 2 games and were over 5. This is a power play that I have had too much fun watching, like the lamp. So great to see them back. An unlikely person finding it, but hey, it's awesome to see, and really fired up for the Senators to continue, hopefully, this momentum into their game against Columbus on Tuesday, and then staying at home against Seattle on Saturday. Light week. I like this light week, Pilsy, because we got on Thursday, which it's usually Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, right? Thursday's the gold medal game at the World Juniors. So nice of them to give us a night of reprieve. We can watch either Oscar Pettersson or Zach Ostapchuk or Tyler Boucher get the gold medal. And we have confirmation that if Oscar Pettersson wins the gold medal, he told us we're getting a video from the locker room.
Yeah, true.
So I got to remind him of that. If they make the finals, there's a day off. So I don't want to bother him on game day, but I'll just be like, hey, just so you know, we're expecting that video.
Yeah, that would be epic. That's for sure. And
I didn't love that hit, though, by Stapchuk. Got kicked out.
I missed it. I missed the game.
Knee on knee. No, didn't look good.
It's tough. Both guys okay, though?
Yeah. No suspension. It was early on in the game, but he got tossed.
Yeah. Damn. I mean, if Tyler Boucher wasn't going to do it, it was going to be someone else. So Zach Ostapchuk bites the bullet there. Talking about this light week, hopefully we can see 1 or 2 guys come back for that Seattle game. Like the Columbus game, I think this roster can take care of them. I mean, mind you, I'm the biggest mush of all time, so I'm probably ruining their chances right now. But if we can get some healthy bodies back on this team for that Kraken game, that'll be really refreshing.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, nice not to have a back-to-back like we did this Saturday, Sunday, where it's going to be the Saturday and then the Monday. Josh North's been practicing for a long time, man. I think I'm going to circle that date. Not a doctor, but I'm going to circle one of those 2 games, either Seattle, who I believe Josh North dominated last year when they were in Ottawa.
Yeah, did he? I don't remember. I just remember the one game up against Seattle was one of the worst Ottawa Senators hockey games I ever watched.
Only game we didn't postcast. We were just
it was the only postcast remission.
2
I
goals.
don't know if he's going to be. Okay, that's
2 goals, including the overtime winner. God, my memory served me right on that one.
Yeah, that's clutch. The Sens Encyclopedia, Ross Levitan, everyone. I don't think Norris is going to come back that soon, Ross. I think we're going to be waiting a little bit longer here.
Okay. Graham mentioning did Brandstrom not play? Wasn't he warm up? I saw a lot of people make that suggestion. And I think the numbers, because they're so bulky, you couldn't tell. That was Lucchini in warm up. It was 36, not 26. But I saw Sens Buzz got it as well, but a couple others that, they kind of looked alike. And he was like looking down. You got the visor and everything, but that was Lucchini setting up for not only the goal, which is why we gave him the stick taps that we did. He also had the best Corsi on the team. 11 shot attempts for, only 8 against.
Nice.
When he was on the ice at even strength. That line, man, with Parker Kelly and I thought Dylan Gambrell actually had a pretty good game.
That's funny because I was going to say I thought Parker Kelly had a really good game. That hit on Lyubushkin to start the game off, whoo, that's what you love to see from the shift disturber.
He gets crushed sometimes, though, too.
I mean, it goes both ways. It's a 2-way street when you're up against other fourth lines, too. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, Ben wants to see me versus Ian on Sens Jeopardy. We should set that up.
Yeah, we should. We talked about doing a Sens Jeopardy in the off season
Yeah.
a while ago when we had the longest off season of our life. So maybe we'll take another look at that.
Oh, that's awesome. Adam, we appreciate you. We're turning listeners to fans just like that. Love
Woo!
the channel, love the stream. We love you being here, man. Love everybody being in the postcast chat. Tongue twister.
The Postcast chat. Yeah, that is tough.
January 1st. It's such a freebie day. Like if there was a bingo for the calendar, January 1st is the middle number, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And yeah, Nick, I love this idea. I will be the host of the Jeopardy between Ian and Ross. That'd be so good.
Who is Tim Stützle?
Yeah, so good.
He is not Alexis Lafreniere or Quentin Byfield. He is him. He is Tim Stützle. He is a 2-goal scorer in tonight's game. Pillsy, some final thoughts. We got lots to get to tomorrow. I've written down a note that we're going to put in tomorrow's show because I thought it was hilarious when we brought up Alex Ovechkin. There was a chat that said, who gets to 895 first? Alex Ovechkin NHL goals or us episodes of Locked On Senators?
Wow, that's interesting. You know what? I'm going to say we hit that first.
Oh, we're going to talk about that in the show. That was a tease, dude.
Oh, okay. My answer is unknown. Wait till tomorrow's episode to find out.
That's awesome. Yeah, and if you haven't seen it, I think it's Habs Fan TV that posted the photo. It is hilarious. Ovechkin, nice to meet a fan. Happens to be all the mothers who, by the way, to go and lose 9-2 in front of your moms.
Yeah. Good thing it wasn't the dad's trip. Yikes.
Ooh. Oh, just let that one sink in. I mean, that building, Ottawa just got a. I mean, Alex DeBrincat's scent is probably still near that goal from Thursday.
His scent, nice. Yeah, the cat scent is all over that. Yeah, the catnip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jean-François Benoit. I'm really sorry. He is a Montreal Canadiens fan. I like the Sens logo though. You got it all figured out. Ce n'est pas bon. Non. Mais ça va. Allons-y. Here we go, man. Well, I appreciate the effort from the Sens tonight. I really wasn't looking forward to coming in after back-to-back division loss after we used. I didn't say the P word, but I did post the standings on Friday, and I said #P, like our good friend Craig Medaglia once did when he accidentally on a Pajot goal.
Yeah.
So that was the throwback to there.
Love it. Classic. Final thoughts for me is
I read that.
Don't let the Martian hear about DeBrincat's scent. Yeah.
Shower thoughts.
He'll be on that scent for sure. It's great to kick off the new year with a win, like you mentioned. If it was like, okay, they close 2022 with a loss and then start 2023 off with a loss up against division rivals. Oh boy.
Yeah, well, they're back, and now we're the streak snappers. That's where the Sens are right now. The streak snappers. No says 9-2, c'est dommage. That's too bad. That's great. And Kara's asking, did I hear someone meowing in the background of DeBrincat's interview? That was after the Washington game. That was Hamonic, who not the best defensively, still just loves taking clap bombs from his spot in the right side. But
yeah,
I still have a soft spot for him. I do.
Yeah, I mean, he does what he needs to do, and he's working alongside Sanderson, and Jeff Sanderson will tell you he's the guy that needs to be there for this season. So I don't mind him. I don't think I have the same affinity, but he's all right.
Heck yeah. Dr. Bob gave us a shout out on TSN 1200 tonight.
Yes, our guy, Dr. Bob. That guy is wild.
Dr. Bob. All right. Hey, that's a community that we're trying to build here. Everyone just, patting each other on the back. And there's going to be some great games coming up. Not only the schedule we just mentioned. I mean, Chris Neal, we're about a month and a half away from his jersey retirement.
We got to get our tickets, Ross.
Still working on it. We'll know soon. Let's finish off with a tease because people in the mentions are saying, Kevin Week saying they are very much trying to move Nikita Zaitsev. Why? We're going to put our tinfoil hats on, try to figure this one out tomorrow on Locked On Senators. But for the postcast, we say goodbye. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Let's get some Go Sens Go in the chat. As I take a peek at the Sens social media, do we have the goggle video yet? No, we don't. We're going to have to regroup on that one.
It's going to be Lucchini, guaranteed.
Tomorrow. Jake Lucchini is at 56% in the poll. Anton Forsberg at 25%. And Tim Stützle at 19%. It was great to hear the Zoob chants back at the CTC. The crowd's been rocking, and the boys are giving you lots to smile about with another home victory to start 2023. Really, can't thank everyone enough for being here in the post chat. The atmosphere is so unreal, not only in that room, but in this room, Eric. The Postcast chat is always electric, and we hope you join us after each and every Ottawa Senators game. But if you do miss any of it live, you can always catch it on your favorite audio podcast platform, and on YouTube. The replay will always be available. The vibes are high. The Sens beat the Sabres 3-1. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Locked On Senators. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Have a good night, Sens fans.